All right, so I'm taking back up from yesterday. Yesterday we got the rear main seal and rear cover on. Today, we got some tree cutters. Today we're going to take the front cover off and put on the new front cover with new seals. And at the time I bought it, I didn't know the front cover was bad, so I got this kit. I think this was maybe like 30 bucks, and I got the front timing cover. I have some water pump gaskets. I also have a new front seal and a different set of water pump gaskets. Alright, I bought a new front timing cover and it has a seal already in there, so I didn't know about that. So if you're gonna end up getting if you're gonna have to buy a new cover, maybe you wait to buy the gasket set, because all you really need is the front cover. You possibly need the water pump as well, but I got a new water pump which also came with gaskets. All right, well, let's get the old timing cover off and get this new one on. All right, I just lightly placed on the sticky oil pan just to keep it protected. I haven't even put on the oil pickup yet. We'll take that off. And then let's get this front cover off again. All right, I'm gonna clean off the surface. I'm gonna go ahead and take this tape off, make sure I get all clean around there, then I'll put some new tape on. Keep in mind when you're putting this back on, like this gasket here, it has a provision for that. So when it goes on, it goes right around it. Otherwise, if you end up putting it on like this, you can end up blocking it. So just pay attention to that. All right, let's get this cleaned up. All right, we'll get the new cover that I bought and the gasket. Making sure we have that space. We'll line it up. We'll put a couple screws through a little bit just to get it started. And it is recommended that if you do not have the installation tool, that before you tighten it down, you put on the harmonic balancer. So what I plan on doing is getting it a little bit snug, and then I'll put on the harmonic balancer. Alright, I got the new timing cover torqued down. I just hand tightened it till it's kind of tight. The reason why is I wanted to stop any leaking of oil from putting a bunch of oil in the oil pump. So I'm stopping that leaking. I'm going to heat up the harmonic balancer. It says the instructions from Summit to say put it in the oven for about 15 minutes at no more than 225, and that will, it'll expand the hole and allow it to slide on much easier. So I can go ahead and do that, and then once that's heated up, I'll be back. One thing to note, I did get the O'Reilly harmonic balancer alignment tool, and the M16.2 goes here through this bolt, and they have this long shaft that bolts down, and then you have the bearing and stuff to press it on. But when you go to try to put it on, the bigger bolt gets stuck on the crankshaft, so this tool isn't going to work. All right, I got the Summit C2500 SFI rated harmonic balancer, as well got an ARP harmonic balancer bolts, and I tried to get it seated in, but as you know, the stock, or the stock bolt is too short when trying to press it on. And I went to the hardware stores and I tried finding a bolt, an M16 by 2 by 120 millimeter like the book suggests. None of the hardware stores had, or they have a rod. So what I ended up doing is going to Summit and purchasing this installation kit, which came with a rod, a couple washers, and a nut. And I ordered this yesterday at 2:30 and it came today at 4 o'clock. So I got to give props to Summit for that. That was excellent shipping. All right, as you can see, the stock harmonic balancer over here and the SFI Summit one, they're almost exactly the same height. They're just a hair off. And as you can see, the siding is a bit thicker on this one as it is on this one. And as well, this one has a slot for a key if you had a keyed crank or if you needed to do something with that. And of course, this is SFI rated, meaning it's approved up to 12,500 RPM without breaking down. And this is what I got to put in. So I got to go ahead and throw this in the oven for 15 minutes and I'll be back. All right, well, it was raining all day yesterday and today it decided to be in the 30 degrees, so it's going to be a cold crank snout, and I gotta get this engine done. And I mean, small things keep pushing it back and it's getting irritating. I want to get this engine in the car. So with the bolt that I bought, we'll just slide this in, start screwing it down. And I am going to heat up the harmonic balancer. I'll heat that up for 15 minutes at a low temperature, like 190 or something like that. Once it starts getting ready, I'll loosen these bolts. That way the cover can shift. And when you're cranking it down, you want to make sure that, you know, it seats through here. So we'll put a little oil on here, and with it warm, it should be able to just slide right in. All right, well, I'll be back when that's heated up. All right, we'll go ahead and oil up the surface, but don't get it enough to where it's hitting the front seal, just on the crank snout. This is just to help ease it on. So you just need a really thin coat. All right, let's get the oil pan off again. All right, I'm gonna loosen up all but the two bottom ones for now, just because I'm still waiting for the balancer to get ready out of the oven. All right, these are all ready except for the very bottom two. Once we get the bottom two, we'll slide it on, get it up in there, and then I'll tighten this down. All right, let's get this on. Take this off and see if I can get the stop bolt on. Alright, the stock bolt goes in a good way. That'll allow me to get this socket and get it cranked down better. This is turning a lot easier than the other one. This bolt bottomed out. It looks like it's still got a little more to go. I'll have to measure that, but it is seated on. And just take a flat edge and measure this, make sure it's good. All right, I have my 0.020 inch or 0.5 millimeter feeler gauge, and that could kind of go under there, so this needs to come up. I need to get this to rotate up a little. All right, these are all loose enough to move. So let's see, it was down, so it needs to come up. There we go. Move a little bit. Let's measure it again. All right, that can't go in at all. That can't go in at all. Those are nice and flat. See if you can see. Those are really nice and flat. Can't go in. So, you need to tighten that down and make sure it doesn't move. And kind of hold it in place. So I get a little bit snug. Hold the back one in place. Put a little torque on it. Measure it. After I got the top two, just measure again. Alright, nothing. On the far side. Far side went down a little bit, so need to move that one up. Alright, got to measure them both again. This one is near perfect flush. This one's down just a little bit. And they kind of just rotate like this, so you just got to get a nice line on both of them. All right, let's measure it up again. Far one is good. This one is good. Then we'll tighten them all up and check one more time. All right, let's get these front cover bolts torqued to 18 foot-pounds. I'm doing in a slight crisscross pattern. Check them one more time. 18, 18, 18. I might have missed that one, so give it a double check. 18, 18, 18, 18, and 18. All right, we're good.